Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into another book summary for you guys. And he says that if you can control your thoughts, you can control your life. He also introduces this idea that most people live on the could have, would have, should have plane. So basically they think about all the things they could have done, or would have done, or should have done differently, but they don't take action. Bob talks about the power of pretending and how you can use it to change your thinking. He says that your subconscious mind is like a computer that can be programmed to believe anything you want it to believe. He says that it's easy to get stuck in this cycle of negative thinking and inaction. Bob talks about the power of your environment and how it can either help you or hinder you on your journey to riches. Bob really dives into the concept of the law of attraction and how you can use it to manifest the things that you want. He says that like attracts like. So if you want to attract money, you need to be thinking positive thoughts about money. You need to visualize money and see yourself as already having achieved financial freedom. It's a really quick read and it's packed with valuable information. I hope you enjoyed this book summary. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments below what your favorite quote from the book is. I would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. And by doing so, you'll start to attract more money into your life. So it's a really powerful tool. And Bob has a whole chapter dedicated to the law of attraction and how you can use it to your advantage. He says that you need to be very intentional about the environment that you put yourself in. You need to surround yourself with positive people who believe in you and support you. And you need to avoid negative people who try to bring you down. So it's all about being very intentional with your environment and making sure that it's conducive to your success. We feel poor, so we don't take any action to improve our situation. And then we feel even poorer because we're not taking any action. And it just becomes this downward spiral. Bob talks about the importance of personal development and how you need to be constantly growing and evolving if you want to become rich. It's a really quick read, but it's packed with valuable information. The main takeaway from the book is that you were born rich. You have everything you need inside of you to become rich. All you have to do is tap into it. And that means changing your thinking, changing your beliefs, changing your programming, changing your environment, using the law of attraction and constantly growing and developing. If you do all those things, you will become rich. He says that becoming rich is not just about making money, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. And that requires constant growth and development. So he encouraged readers to read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, and do everything they can to improve themselves. So what Bob is saying here is that you need to start taking action no matter where you are. You can't wait until you feel motivated or inspired to take action. You just need to start taking action now. And by taking action, you'll start to feel better about yourself. You'll start to think more positively, and you'll start to move forward. And that's really the key to breaking out of the cycle of poverty. So it's all about changing your programming. It's about changing the way that your mind works. And he gives some practical tips on how to do that. He talks about the power of affirmations and visualizations. So basically repeating positive statements over and over again until they sink in and become part of your subconscious programming. And then also visualizing success and seeing yourself as already having achieved what you want. So it's a really powerful stuff. And Bob really dives into this idea of programming your mind in the next few chapters. He says that you can pretend to be the person that you want to become. And by doing so, you'll start to think like that person, and eventually you'll become that person. So it's all about faking it till you make it. But there's a little bit more to it than that. It's not just about pretending to be somebody else. It's about pretending to be the best version of yourself. It's about acting as though you already have what you want. And by doing so, you'll start to attract those things into your life. So it's a really powerful tool. And Bob uses this idea of pretending throughout the rest of the book. They just think about it. And then what happens is these thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies. So they create their own limitations and they keep themselves poor. And today we're looking at You Were Born Rich by the one and only, the great Bob Proctor. Let's dive right in. So the first chapter is titled, Become Conscious of Your Thinking. So how do you escape the could have, would have, should have plane? How do you break out of that and actually become rich? Well, according to Bob, it all starts with your thinking. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your life. And that's why he starts the book by talking about the importance of being conscious of your thinking. He says that you have to be aware of the thoughts that you're rethinking, and then you have to take control of those thoughts. Once you do that, you can start to control your actions and ultimately your life. And that's where the real magic happens. That's where you start to see the real change, and that's how you become rich. In Chapter 2, Bob talks about how our beliefs shape our attitudes and our expectations. He uses the phrase, expect the best, prepare for it, and you will get it. So he emphasizes the importance of having a positive attitude and expecting good things to happen. But he also talks about the importance of being prepared for those good things. So it's not enough to just think positive thoughts and expect good things to happen. You actually have to take steps to make sure that you be prepared for those good things when they do happen. And that's where a lot of people fall short. They think they're doing all the right things. They have the right thoughts, they have the right attitude, but they're not prepared for success. They're not prepared for the good things that can happen. So that's what Bob is trying to emphasize here in Chapter 2, is that you need to have a positive attitude. But you also need to be prepared. And that leads us to Chapter 3, which is titled, Act As Though. Chapter 4 is titled, Your Mind Can Be Programmed. And in this chapter, Bob talks about the power of the subconscious mind. Chapter 5, Start Where You Are. Bob talks about the importance of taking action. Chapter 6, You Create Your Own Environment. Chapter 7 is titled, Use the Law of Attraction. And in this chapter. And finally, Chapter 8, which is titled, Become a Lifetime Learner. So those are the 8 chapters of the book You Were Born Rich. So I highly recommend this book to anyone who wants to improve their financial situation.